Hi folks, Sandro here with more cartoon news and shenanigans, and today I wanted to do a quick discussion video on this exclusive news that came out a few days ago from the Disney Television Animation News' Twitter page, where they talk about how Marvel Studios and Disney Television Animation are going to keep working together to create more Marvel Studios based properties, but it's not connected to the MCU, right? It's not connected to the MCU. They're going to be creating their own like unique types of shows that don't focus on it. So something in the lines of Moongirl and Devil Dinosaur, which I just did a trailer reaction to a few videos ago, if you want to see my reaction to it. And these are aimed at kids, like I feel like not necessarily my audience. Like I liked whenever there's a good like action cartoon, like something like Teen Titans, or well, Injustice definitely feels like it's for an older audience, but if something like Teen Titans came out again, like I'd be there, you know what I mean? But some of these new shows that could be possibly coming here, I just like Moon Girl it's not my cup of tea. It's not like I'm not clamoring for a freaking Moon Girl cartoon. Maybe some of you guys were. I know the character was very popular in the scholastic scene, right? Like libraries, graphic novels. I know Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur was pretty popular in that space, right? Weirdly enough, not the comic book space where you'd think Marvel Comics would, excel at. No, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, more of a graphic novel type of character. But seeing some of these title drops here, which could be coming, I don't know. This could just be, Disney Television Animation News spitballing. But we see here, this means that Feige, Marvel, and Disney want to keep introducing less well-known Marvel characters. So like I said, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, if you're in that space of graphic novels, you probably know the character. If you're not, if you're an adult like me, you probably never even heard of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Maybe not like me, because I'm aware of the comic book space pretty heavily. If you're just a run-of-the-mill MCU fan who doesn't really know much about the comics, you probably wouldn't have heard of a bunch of these characters. And some of them are awful, where it's like, I can't even see these people holding their own show, So let's review some of these like possible spitballs for the future here. So we could be getting a Gwenpool cartoon. And if you guys haven't been following the comic Marvel comics, Marvel and DC, they basically tossed away their old readership, right? A lot of the readers of comic books for a long time, not always, like obviously there's a huge diverse pool of people who buy comics, but a lot of it was white men, right? Like somebody like me, right? Or my brother. My brother is actually pretty heavily into collecting them a while back. So a lot of it, America, Canada, very white nations. So for a long time, their biggest audience was these, European descendant people like myself. And were there black people? Were there white? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People from all walks of life, but they seen it. They've majority of it could be perceived as white guys, right? Especially the men, white men. And so towards the early 2010s, Marvel started to come out with shit like, all different, all new, all different Marvel, right? We're slowly, instead of adapting, closer to the MCU, where it's like Tony Stark, instead of doing that, they just came up with the idea, hey, let's slowly start like replacing all of our characters with a next generation of super diverse cast, right? And it did not work out by any stretch of the imagination. Modern day Marvel comics are a fucking disaster. We don't. Do you guys need me to pull you up the what was the name of that? The New Warriors. Do you guys remember that? Internet gas. You had the fat indigenous Dora the Explorer, Snowflake, and space, Safe Space, and like one of them was like non-binary, and then they had like a an emo vampire named like B negative. It was a shit show. It was a disaster. Marvel, I don't think it's ever released. I don't think that, yeah, at the time of this video, I still don't think that all New Warriors, is that what it's called? Hold on. New Warriors. Yeah. No, see, there was a different team. This is the team that everybody was dunking on. Oh yeah, right here. Right here. It's like, here's the like wokest thing they could come up with. Oh yeah, and this dude's Asian too. They gotta get a little bit of something for everyone in there, except for white people. So that, well, I guess you could say B negative. He's kind of drained of fluids and looks white, so close enough. But but yeah, basically this is the path Marvel went. They kind of said, no, there's too many white men in the comics space. We're gonna go and target all of basically everybody else. Basically, they basically were like, we want people reading anyone else except for the white people, and it's truly been a disaster. They've been just race swapping, gender swapping, like everything you can think of. They've been doing to change their characters, and pass the baton to a new generation that doesn't seem interested in comics in the slightest. And they've been failing hard. Indie comics are on the rise like you've never seen before. Meanwhile, Marvel Comics, I don't even know how they're surviving. It's basically Star Wars, right? Like, at some point, Spider-Man and Star Wars are basically keeping this company afloat. Meanwhile, DC Comics, on the other hand, they didn't get so much into the diversity stuff until, like, they saw how Marvel failed, and it's really weird. And then they're like, no, we need to get into the diversity stuff anyway. They had the New 52. It was pretty interesting. I was following a lot of stories, and then they kind of they went off the rails, and I don't know. They went the same direction that Marvel's going. Now we're in a phase where it's like like every other month, DC Comics is announcing that a new character is gay, or either a new character is gay, or they created a new character that is gay. Like, no joke. Like, it was like back to back. It was like, hey everybody, Jonathan Kent is gay, the new Superboy. He's gay or bisexual or whatever the fuck. And then it was like the next month, it was like one of the I can't remember which Robin it was. Was it? No, it wasn't Dick Grayson. The other one of the other Robins, one of the other Robins that's pretty important and well known. The name's not coming to me right now, but they also announced he was gay like a month later. It's been a whole thing. It's like, how many gay people do you think read these comics? And Marvel also went in like hard on the gay stuff too. You look at something like this, like, I wouldn't be surprised if literally more than 50% of these people are gay here. Gay or bi or whatever, right? Definitely Squirrel Girl, probably. Well, Moongirl's a younger character. I don't think they would touch her just yet. But a lot of these other characters here are probably in some form or fashion bi or gay, or just not a man, or what, like a non-binary type of thing, right? And out of all these diversity fail characters, I think the only one that ever really succeeded was Miles. Like, I think Miles is a cool character. Everybody else here, except for Doctor Strange, I can't remember who's this electric guy back here. I can't remember who that is. Is that Captain America? Maybe. No. Or what was who is that? I have no idea. It kind of is that. Wait. Oh, maybe it's Black Panther. But why is he flying? Yeah, I don't know. Most of these characters were failures. I think this is Ant-Man and the Wasp's daughter. You had the Asian Hulk. That was Amadeus Cho. I don't think they replaced Stephen Strange, did they? I think that was one of the ones they didn't change. And then Miss Marvel, which was really funny because they had a new show. In the comic books, her powers were making her like, she's kind of like Mr. Fantastic, where she just makes her hands big and stretches and shit. And a lot of people found her to be just a weird, kind of repulsive character. And for the new show, they're like, okay, we need to get rid of those old powers and give her like completely new powers. And it's just really interesting. Hawkeye's daughter, this is probably one of the worst ones. Ironheart, Where, like, how are you going to... I don't understand how they ever thought that they could... After seeing Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Iron Man, how could you ever just pass the baton on? He was just too good of an actor. You can never replace Tony Stark. You can never replace Robert Downey Jr., you know? I have no idea how they thought, like, somebody like Riri Williams was going to be the next big character, but, like, oh my lord. And that's where they're heading to in Phase 5 of Marvel. They're heading towards this kind of thing. We're already here, right? People call it the MCU, and I have not been watching mostly anything from even Phase 4. Endgame ended, and I was actually really hyped for Multiverse of Madness. My brother went to go watch it. He told me it was awful, so I didn't watch that one. And I think out of the new batch, the new phase, ever since Endgame ended, the only one I've seen is the new Spider-Man, like No Way Home, where, you know, connected to the other Sony stuff. But that was published by Sony, I believe. So that wasn't even Disney themselves that published it. Technically in the MCU, but, you know, that was a different, situation with that film. Other than that, like, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is, like, the only upcoming film that I'm, like, genuinely interested in. The rest are just, like, I don't give a shit about any of these characters. Maybe Miles. Maybe if they introduce Miles, maybe I would give that a watch, because I thought he was the best character here. And if we go back to this thing and start listing off some of these characters that possibly spitballing, they're just spitballing here, who could be getting their own shows? Gwenpool, which is like this awful... I don't even know what this abomination... Like, Gwenpool, like, this is her right here. They basically were like, you know what fans like? They like Deadpool. Deadpool's selling a lot of comics. Let's make, like, Gwen Stacy, you know, Spider-Gwen. They were doing a lot with Gwen for some reason. I don't know why, but I was having none of it. I did not think the character was good. I like her design. Like, I like her outfit, I guess. But, like, other than that, like, I give zero shits for the character. Squirrel Girl, possibly one of the worst Marvel characters ever made. She started out as a joke, but now she's just awful. She's this, like, god-awful comedy character that just doesn't work by any stretch. Tigra, that's a good character. I could see them doing a cartoon on Tigra. Yeah, Tigra might be, like, one of the only good ones out of this list here. Tigra could be good. Dazzler, I don't understand what Dazzler's doing here. Like, usually they put her as an X, like, she's associated with the X-Men. I don't understand why that character would be here. Like, are they that desperate for, like, ideas? I don't know. Jeff the Land Shark, this is weird. It's just a baby shark. I think he talks, Jeff the Land Shark. Kind of a weird one to do a story on, but Baby Shark was really popular for a while there, so maybe that's what they're thinking. These are aimed at children, right? And Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers. That sounds awful. That's DC Comics, or not DC, like that Warner just did their whole movie where it was like DC Super Pets. All these companies just want that Paw Patrol money. You know what I'm saying here? So yeah, these don't sound that good. Other than Tigra, I'd rather just see an adult Tigra. I don't like a Tigra DH down for children. No thanks, man. No thanks. All of these are awful. I think Squirrel Girl could probably be the worst offender here. At least Gwenpool could, if they do the quips and the quirkiness, maybe that could work. But, like, I don't know. Dazzler seems to be the most bizarre. I don't know what that one's doing here. But, yeah, it's just they're breaking away from the MCU, or, like, they're not associating with the MCU, and they're trying to break into these, like, obscure characters that no one really gives a shit about, I feel like. Like, Moongirl and Devil Dinosaur, like I said, that one had, if you guys saw my video on where I watched the trailer, that one had a scholastic, background. Outside of that, it's just like these characters, nobody, does anyone know these characters? Like, Lockjaw, that's usually a character with the Inhumans, right? It's like, what is he doing in the Pet Avengers? I don't know, but... I have no clue. Maybe there was a comic called Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers, and they're just, like, adapting it. I have no clue. My guess here is out of all these characters, most successful one could be Jeff the Land Shark, just because he's a cutesy little shark. If you guys have never seen Jeff the Land Shark, here he is, Jeff the Land Shark. There we go. Yeah, he's like a cutesy little dog-like character that's adorable. You know, they can make him speak English. It's a cartoon. You could suspend your disbelief. They could just easily do it. He's a cutesy little character. I could see this character being like the top out of all the cartoons. This could be a huge one for children. The rest of those shows, though, God, those sound awful. And you see here, to new generations without relying on the MCU. So that's what they want to do. They want to bring kids Marvel properties without, distancing themselves from the MCU. Kind of interesting. Honest to God, really sort of interesting here. I don't want to say these things are going to fail because children's media has been going through the roof recently. Things like is it Coco Melon? I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Coco Melon, or maybe I'm saying it wrong or remembering the name wrong. But like a lot of these even like YouTube itself, the kids stuff has been some of the most viewed shit on all of YouTube. I remember a few years ago, a lot of it was Elsa and Spider-Man in these weird, creepy videos. But we're in a new age where it's like children's media. A lot of companies are really, really going after the children with children's media and cartoons. And I mentioned this before in some of my other videos. We're seeing a generational divide, actually. We're seeing a lot of companies focusing on children and a lot of companies focusing on adult comedies such as like Solar Opposites and Rick and Morty and stuff like that. Whereas like it kind of feels like there's a gap for the teenage years. You know what I mean? Like it kind of feels like there's always this gap where it's like, where's the Teen Titans? Like where's hold on. Danny Phantom. That's a great example. Ben 10. Well, Ben 10 is interesting because he started off as a kid and then, yeah, that doesn't count. But you know what I'm saying, right? It's like back in the day, we got a lot of stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003, which was a great franchise. Now we get a new modern day, like, Ninja Turtles, and April's a little black girl instead of being like an adult woman where she's like a reporter in the yellow jumpsuit. It's a different age now, and I do feel like we are slowly like segregating from the middle teenage years. We need to get more action shows in the middle like we used to have back in the day. And one of the ones I'm personally looking forward to coming up is Genndy Tartakovsky's Unicorn Warriors Eternal. This show right here. I really hope this lives up. I really hope it lives up. It is Genndy, and he's made some great stuff. It has, just looking at it, it gives me like a kind of actiony Teen Titans vibe, doesn't it? Just look at this, right? Like you're like, okay, something supernatural, some weird shit's going on here. I want to find out more. I want to see some action scenes. This could be one of the big ones to fill that sort of gap, and I really hope it does. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Do you think any of these, like I said, Jeff the Land Shark seems to be the only one here that could really, really do well? Outside of this, like, I don't care for any of these characters, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them are just these awful side characters that I could give zero fucks about. But I want to hear your opinion. Oh, wow, this is a 20-minute... I'm so sorry, I rambled on. I said this was going to be a quick video. I lied. When did this happen? I thought, wow, the time just flies. All I can say. Holy shit. Okay, let me know in the comments all your thoughts. I did not mean to go on for 18 freaking minutes. Let me know all your favorite stuff. Which one of these shows is going to make it? Have you been reading the comic books lately? Like, have you been seeing some of the destruction of Marvel Comics and the rise of indies? I sure have. And I want to hear all your thoughts down below. So please like, please share, please subscribe. And why not watch an ad for your boy, Sandro? Peace out, bye-bye, and have a great day, everyone.